Congratulations on the film.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not a baseball fan. I will admit that. You either?
Me neither.
So, but my thing is, this isn't really a baseball movie. It's a story about underdogs. It's a story about, encouragement, about life-changing events. It's all that other stuff that just happens to kind of have some baseball in it.
I definitely think, I have nothing against baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know anything about it.
Right.
So, I always think about baseball being sort of the umbrella that sort of holds the story, but really underneath is this sort of unexpected spiritual journey that this man is on, and all the people who kind of help him get to the end point. And John Hamm's character is refreshingly real in that he's really not perfect. He's kind of a jerk, to be honest. And then what happens is these people sort of inadvertently, help him find himself and in an honest place.
Well, one of the people that does that helps mold him, is your character, Brenda.
Absolutely.
And you guys, it's interesting to see you two work together. You've worked together before. You've known him for a few years.
We haven't properly worked together, though, because we only did Children's Hospital together very briefly,
Right.
But we haven't actually kind of gone toe to toe, and so this is we have known each other for many years though. So it was.
And so does that make it easier, or is it like weirder because you're friends and you're playing? We don't want to give anything away, but some sparks may fly.
No, it's easier because I think I like kind of having a built-in rapport with people that I play opposite, because then. There's a safety in playing. It's sort of, you feel safer, and there's also a shorthand. So, and even an understanding of musically, comedically, what you want to do. So John and I have a good rhythm, if you will.
And was everything just played as written on the page, or were you allowed to sort of deviate from
pretty
that?
much as written, because Tom McCarthy wrote a beautiful script, and he's an amazing writer. But there's always opportunity where Craig would let it tumble, if you will, which is once you kind of do it, you do the scene, you can kind of do it a little messier.
Right, go back and play around with it a little bit more.
Just a little messier, but otherwise it was beautifully written. You don't really have to kind of digress.
And Brenda's an interesting character because unlike so many other roles that could be like that in films, she's a catalyst for change, for one thing, which sometimes doesn't happen in films like this. I see that look on your face.
Well, it's true. I think that ladies often in sports movies, are either eye candy or sort of on the sidelines of being kind of doting and you can do it, honey, And I think what's cool about this is, Brenda straight up looks at him and it's just like, I wasn't that into you. Because you were kind of a jerk, and frankly, you're being a jerk now. Which I think seeing any woman talk to Don Draper that way, is sort of exciting.
Did that draw you to it? To just how well written she is, how more interesting she is than often other female characters in these kind of movies are?
Absolutely, I think. I think this is also just even John as a friend. I love seeing John in this movie.
It's his first lead in a film too, right?
I suppose. Yeah. It's certainly his first time playing a really sweet person who admits his, faults and can really smile in earnest at the end, and with his heart, and I think that's really beautiful to see. And I was very much attracted to a role that was powerful, even though she's not the lead of the movie, but she really evokes change in this person, and I think that I think it's just cool. Yeah, and I loved working with Suraj and Madhur and Pitabash, who were so just flawless in their depiction of these young guys going through a pretty extraordinary fish out of water story, and so.
What do people take away from the film?
The film is very uplifting in that it's not only is it so earnest, but because it's even a true story, so there's nothing false in there. But it's also really funny, So it's sort of painless to watch.
Right.
And I'm a huge fan of sports movies, even though I don't know anything about sports. And I think it's just that, the raw talent of an athlete and a successful athlete is so pure and so beautiful and undeniable. So you just kind of get behind people who are persevering in that way.